All right, good afternoon, class. As most of you are probably aware, someone in fourth block within the B Day group for Earth Science tested positive for COVID. And so that whole group, the B Day group, as well as myself, have to self quarantine for 2 weeks. And so I won't be in there and I'll be working remotely. Coach Halo and Coach Yarborough will be taking turns watching my classes for me. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I hope all of you are well behaved and don't give them any trouble. Okay, so I need to go over a few things with you um, so that you know what we're doing and how it's going to work for the next 2 weeks. Okay, so since I'm working remotely, all of you, whether you're at home or in class, are going to be doing remote activities. Okay, and I'll also be taking attendance remote as well. And so even if you're in class, if you're at home, you're still taking attendance the same way. You know, as soon as that class time starts, you need to be going and clicking on, the attendance form and submitting your attendance. Now, if you're in class, you need to do that as well, so that I can see it at home and submit the attendance from home. Okay, so that's the first thing you always need to do, take the attendance. Okay, the second thing that you're going to be doing is going to this week's lessons, right, which is right here. You shouldn't be getting anything new under the to-do for now. Okay, so how you access those lessons is how I always plan for you to access a lesson is through this week's lesson. The way that I've set up my Canvas is more like a web page. Okay, so you go to this week's lessons, right, and this page appears, okay, and it's the unit, scientific measurements. And all the lessons that we have been working on since the beginning of the school year are all listed here and laid out by the day and with the date. And whether you're in Group A on A days, Group B on B days, or fully remote, right, your lessons have always been here. Okay, and that's going to become important for you for the next 2 weeks. All right. The first thing that you do when you click on this is I need you to sign up for this global defense game. All right. So there's a time limit on this global defense game on when you can sign up, and it happens to be tomorrow. And I wasn't aware that it had a time limit until this weekend. But so you need to go ahead and sign up for this game. So if you don't sign up today, I'm going to be calling your house and making sure you sign up. Okay. So when you click on that global defense game, it'll take you to this screen. All right, and this just is a picture of the game. It's a video game, and you're going to be learning science while you're playing this video game. All right, and it should be a lot of fun, hopefully, and also educational. Right, but this is kind of like how the screen looks. All right, so here's some videos if you want to. Here's a trailer about the game, and here's two students that are playing the game. Um, they're playing the science game, the chemistry game. Sorry. All right, so this student's a former chemistry student, and this one's one that's just beginning, and they're both playing the game, and then they give a review of the game. But you can kind of see how the game is played in action as they're playing it. Okay, so what you need to do, though, see this classroom code right here? You need to watch this tutorial, how to create a student account. All right, and it'll walk you through every step that you need to do to create your student account. So once you've watched that tutorial video, click on this link here and it'll take you to Play Plasma Games. And then you're going to sign in. All right, so when you sign in, use your school email and your student password. That way you won't forget. If you make up some password just for this game, you'll probably forget it. So just use your school password. Okay, and then your username needs to be your real name. Okay, like Ashton, I know you like to go by Dakota. That's fine. I know that you're Dakota Hawks, right? But don't make up other names like the Annihilator or something like that. If you do, I'm going to drop you from the game, and you're going to have to sign up again. All right, so let's just skip those steps. I need to know who you are, because you will be graded on your game performance, not necessarily on how well you do, but how much, how you're progressing, how much time you're spending on it, that type of thing. More participation. All right. So this should be a fun thing. Let's keep it as a fun thing. All right. All right. So sign up for that game. And then after you do that game, I need you to either check your email or, well, check your email. And you will have an email from me that will have a Google sheet in it. You should be able to see it when you're looking at your list of emails from me. And you can just click on the sheet. That's fine. If you, for some reason, don't see that email, or you deleted it by mistake or something like that, then you can always access this Google Sheet, this Google Doc that I have shared with you through this. This is officially called the Waffle. So anytime you're on your school email, click on this Waffle, right, and then you'll see the sheets. Okay, so and then go to Sheets. All right, so once you're on the sheet screen, all right, you should be able to see the sheets down here, the sheet down here. Okay, so if you are in fully remote, it will be labeled fully remote. If you're in A day, it'll be labeled A day. If you're in B day, it'll be labeled B day. And they'll have missing work, and it'll have your name by it. Okay, so find that sheet. All right, and when you click on that sheet, it'll have a list of all your missing assignments. Okay, as well as a date and a checkoff box. Okay, so how this works, how this is going to work. Now you will read what assignment you missed or you didn't do, or I'm asking you to redo because the score was so low. And this is to help you bring up your grade. Remember, progress reports are starting to come home on Thursday, be sent home on Thursdays. On Thursday. Okay, so this gives you a chance. You have until Wednesday to make up all this work and try to bring up your grade. Some of you, I'm asking you or giving you a chance to retake the vocabulary quiz because you didn't score that well on it, or retake the scientific measurements test because you didn't score that well on it. So you're getting a chance to bring up your grade. All right, so this could be a good thing for you, really, doing this remote work at this time, even if you're in class. All right, but you will see the assignment. Okay, you'll also see the date. Now, the date for the most part will be correct, but it may be incorrect. And that's because I'll show you in a second. All right, so 8:26, read the PowerPoint on metric system. Okay, so we're going to go back to this week's lesson where all the lessons are listed, right? It's at 8:26, read the PowerPoint for metric system. All right, so coming to 8:26, metric system, the lesson on the metric system. All right, so when you click on that, it'll take you to the lesson on the metric system. All right, so remember how I've set up the course is that that we have the lessons for the day, but then there's like 4 different activities. And so those activities are within that lesson, and it's on this one lesson page. All right, so we needed to do this metric system I can statements. So we can click on that. All right, and that'll bring you into the assignment. Okay, always ignore the slate. It doesn't matter. Nothing's being marked late right now. Okay, so you're going to actually read the PowerPoint, and as you do, look for these I can statements. These I can statements are very clear in the PowerPoint. These are the main points that you should be getting out of the PowerPoint lesson. Okay, so if you have trouble reading, here I've recorded it as well. Well, I've read through the PowerPoint for you. And so you can listen to it as you look through the PowerPoint, if that's what you prefer or would like to do. All right, but look for these I can statements, type them in, submit assignment or resubmit assignment, and then submit the assignment to me. All right. On that Google Doc, all right, so once you've done that, you'll go back to your sheet, all right, and you will click off that you did that. All right, and when you do, look, it marks this out, so you get that sense of completion. All right, and this number up here changed. This was a counter. So now we've completed 1 out of 3. Okay, so our next one is redo the metric conversion problems. Well, that's still in the metric lesson. So we can go back here. We just did this one. All right, and we can use these next and previous buttons to get around. Okay, so if you hit next, it takes you to the conversion problems. All right, so some of you have asked to redo the problems. If you're redoing them, then you must not have understood it the first time. So watch this little video where this teacher does a really good job explaining how to move the decimal point using that King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk method. All right, watch that and then redo the problems. All right, and if you've done that, there are third thing, so then you're going to go back, check that off. All right, so the next one was take the review quiz. Well, it's still in the metric system lesson, so I can go just and hit the next one. Remember, every lesson ends with the review quiz. Once you take the review quiz and you hit next, it'll take you to the next lesson. Like once you did this, it'll take us to the next lesson, which is on metric measurements. And so you know that if you're just generally doing a lesson, you know you've completed for the day, that this would be the next day's lesson. All right. Okay. If the next thing on your list is not within that same lesson, so you can't use the next or previous, then just go back to, all right, always go back to the home page. And this requires 2 steps, but it's okay. All right, so go back to the home page and go back to this week's lessons. And it'll take you back to those calendars, those tables, I guess, that, list all the lessons. All right, so that's what you're gonna be doing for the next 3 days. You're gonna be making up work. And if you are finished making up work, some of you have done a fantastic job keeping up with all your work. You've done well on the vocabulary quiz and well on the test, and you don't have anything to make up. Then you get to go ahead and just start playing the global defense game. All right. The rest of you can play the global defense game when you finish making up your work. Also, if you have on your list that you can retake the scientific measurements test to get a better score, please, take advantage of that. But just know that I'm not going to let you retake the test until you've made up the rest of your work. Okay, so make up that work so that you can retake that test. All right. Okay, so I think that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at any time. I'll email you back as soon as I can. And, hopefully everything will go smoothly for the next 2 weeks. And I will see you again in 2 weeks. All right, so take care of yourself. I miss all of you and wish I could be there. All right, bye.